Canadians are boycotting the USA in tourism and in products. Florida tourism collapsing. Florida is suffering due to a 40% decrease in Canadian visitors. If you did not know, Canadian visitors make up the largest group of international tourists that visit the United States of America. This is going to cost Florida anywhere from $38 billion to $50 billion loss annually.
Canadian road trips to the U.S. are down 35%. Air travel down 14%. Myrtle Beach Canadian visitors down 65.4%. Dallas down 50%. Vegas just had its worst visitor count since 2010 if you don't count COVID. The total damage, $4.5 billion lost in tourism from Canada to the U.S. Airlines like Air Transat, they're ending all of their U.S. flights by June. And Trumple decaying skin up there is still posting fake maps of North America on Truth Social and calling Mark Carney a governor, threatening to annex Canada like it's a Build-A-Bear in a mall. So Canada, they're going to Beijing and Brussels and Mexico and Tokyo. And the kids in the back seats of the minivans are going to remember this for the rest of their lives. Americans, we did this to ourselves. Canadians, for most of us, we're sorry.
What is one message that you would tell to Trump if you had the chance to speak to him?
We're not happy with him, and I'd like to tell him to his face.
Don't come to Canada.
Give your head a shake. Go back to TV. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how it works. And neither does anybody else that you've got working with you. So just before you drive the country into the ground and do irreversible damage, go home.
Settle down. Settle down. You're way out of line as far as I'm concerned. Not just now, you have been, not nice.
Relax. You know what I mean? Relax. We good people. Americans are good people. We've had this long-standing relationship for the longest time. There's no need. There's no need for any of this stuff.
Leave us alone. Do your own thing. Worry about your own country. Stop trying to take everyone else over.
Canada, because they know the Americans so well, they are so angry.
Yeah.
You look at how few Canadians are traveling to the U.S.
We rely on 1.9 million a year just in the state of California. It's collapsed.
It's astonishing.
Absolutely collapsed. The economic damage, the self-harm we've done is off the charts. That's aside. But you're right. It's interesting. For the Canadians, it's raw.
It's raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to hotel owners in Boston, New England, that kind of stuff. Also, Canadian tourism has just fallen off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so there's a huge amount of self-harm in a country that really integrates, trusts the Americans.
Canada is hitting the US where it hurts the most, tourism. And this all started with Trump's trade wars, tariffs, and talks about annexing Canada. And most Canadians did not take this lightly. They took it as an insult and disrespectful to their sovereignty. The issue of ICE agents have also contributed because many Canadians fear being detained by ICE agents. So let's have a look.
This may actually surprise some people, but a CTV News survey, which is looking at Canadians boycotting US goods, services, and travel, have actually found that the number of people boycotting these things is actually increasing. They found out that in September 2025, the number of Canadians polled who would boycott US goods, services and also travel was 56%. They did the similar survey again in May 2026, and the number had increased by 10% to 66%. So that's a 10% increase of Canadians who are refusing to travel to the United States, choosing to buy products from other countries other than the United States, or not using US-based services. Folks, the survey was Canada-wide. My name is Nick, and the source, of course, is CTV News.
The boycott of the United States. Now, I'm not happy to have to do it, but I'm happy we are doing it. So the numbers have just come out. Apparently, it's mobile phone data has proven that it's a drop of over 42%. Plus, with the exception of Alberta and Saskatchewan, we're not consuming U.S. liquor. We're not crossing the border. We don't want to be assaulted, attacked, put down, have our industries destroyed after integrating for decades. And we need to spend our money at home and support this economy. So it is working. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, but when you watch that narcissist off with his tail between his legs in China, sucking up to another dictator, and yet attacking us, it really does remind me, anyway, that it's the right decision to just cancel travel south of the border until there is a big fundamental change down there, and support our economy, because it's rocky times. It's going to be rocky when you get attacked by something you've integrated with for 50 years.
Dear citizens of Canada, most everybody in the United States is with you. If you don't want to buy our products, don't do it. Buy Canadian only. We'll be fine. Trust me, we'll be fine. We don't agree with Supreme Leader Trump. We don't agree with what he's doing. So you boycott us, and I'm with you, okay? Most of us are with you. If, for whatever reason, the U.S. invaded Canada, which won't happen, but if it did, I would side with Canada. I would fight with Canada, okay? I canceled my trip in the United States this summer, my summer vacation to the Jersey Shore, because I live near the Jersey Shore. I canceled my Jersey Shore vacation because I'm taking a vacation to Canada this summer and spending my money in Canada as a U.S. citizen. So please welcome me and my family with open arms. We are with Canada, okay? We are on your side. We will fight with you. And if you need to boycott the U.S. products, you do that. Do that. Show Trump he's wrong.
Canadians are now boycotting their travel to the United States thanks to Donald Trump. Thanks to Donald Trump talking about making Canada the 51st state, talking about tariffs and the way they've been treated by what they consider their best friend. Well, here's some little facts and some figures about Canadians and their expenditures for travel in the United States and why it's important. In 2024, Canadians spent $19 billion in travel in the United States. They spent an average of $1,174 per trip. Most of the money they spent on the trip, not including the airfares, but the trip were spent on hotels, on restaurants, on bars, and other things that they purchased while they were here. Florida obviously is a large recipient of Canadian travel. 3.2 million Canadians visited Florida this last year. 27% of all the foreign travel in Florida was from Canada. Canadians continue to boycott travel to the United States. It will significantly impact Florida, where I live in South Florida. It'll impact the United States, and there will be thousands of jobs that will be lost as a result. This is not a wise decision from Donald Trump. Don't know what he thought he was going to gain by it. Maybe MAGA thinks it's great, but you know, MAGA, they use those burned out light bulbs, so they're not able to see very well with their burned out light bulbs, if you understand what I'm saying. You have to be careful how I say things. But it's a huge deal. My Canadians, I love to hear from you. I know many of you have told me that you have altered your plans. You've not going to travel to the United States this year. I continue to support you. I understand. I appreciate your feedback. Please comment.
So I know myself, I am too old and too soft to do any jail time. So I will not be heading to the US in the next 4 years. But frankly, I don't want to put my money into an economy that wants to make us the 51st state anyways. But there is so much crazy stuff coming out about the US border right now. I did a bit of a dive, and it is insane. I'm going to give some suggestions for people, Canadians who have to go to the US, because you may have to. I don't know. They say, first of all, make sure people know where you are going, what time you're supposed to arrive, have them check in on you. If you don't arrive, have them start alerting people. They also say to bring the name and number of a local immigration attorney in case you need it, because ICE will not give you access to your phone or let you research anything. With regards to phones, they are deeming burner phones suspicious, so that's not great. Definitely put your phone on passcodes only. Best case scenario, they will turn you around at the border and you'll get to come back to Canada. Worst case scenario, you won't wind up in Canada or your destination. So that's why they're saying fly, not drive, because again, that way in airports, you've got lots more people around you. In case someone tries to disappear you, it will be a lot more obvious what's going on, as opposed to driving, you're a little more contained. And yeah, if you have to go, good luck. And if you're stuck in America, Gilead, I don't know what. I am sorry, folks.
Did you know that many countries around the world have travel advisories against coming to the US? It is considered unsafe to set foot in the US. Many countries are actively warning their citizens not to travel here for as long as Donald Trump is in charge. Due to our lack of freedoms, the United States is no longer considered a first world country. We can't afford health care, we have excessive gun violence and school shootings, and we are deporting people all day, every day, for no reason at all. People are being detained and brutalized. US citizens, our own citizens. So it should come as no surprise that people all over the world wouldn't dream of setting foot in our country.
Very creepy thing happening with labeling in the food and beverage industry right now. Over a year ago, when our relationship started to fall apart with the United States, many Canadians made the wise decision to stop purchasing U.S. food products, so U.S. alcohol and U.S. food at the grocery store. And of course, many of our provinces made the decision to no longer stock American-made products. Now, of course, you have to think that those companies that produce that stuff, they still want our money, right? They want to get Canadian money back to the U.S. that fills their 401ks, lines their pockets, and they can continue to donate to the Republican Party. So they looked at it, and these companies that produce food and alcohol, particularly I know about the alcohol industry, they looked at it and said, how are we going to get around this, and how are we going to fool Canadians into thinking that they're buying Canadian? So what they started to do was ship their product up to Canada in totes or truckloads or pallets, what have you. And then they started packaging it in Canada. And that would allow them to put made in Canada on it, not disclosing that the ingredients are U.S. ingredients, basically just bottled in Canada, maybe added some water, scented up, concentrated, right? So it's easier cheaper to ship, and then added some water in Canada. And they're able to get away with this because there's nothing in law in Canada that requires disclosure on the label of the source of the main contents of the product. Now, in the United States, there is actually requirements to disclose this, but not in Canada. And so, of course, the grocery stores are in cahoots, right? Like the grocery stores want to buy it American. They don't give a damn. They'll relabel it, call it Canadian, knowing that they probably won't get caught. And same with the liquor store. Like I was wandering around BC Liquor yesterday, and I just started taking photographs of the labels and then searching them. They're all companies based in the States, and companies based in the States where you could track it and find that they've been donating to the Republican Party, they've donated to Trump. And so here you are, thinking you're buying something that's Canadian because there's a maple leaf on the thing now. Meanwhile, all you're doing is sending money straight back to the United States that they use, they pay into their tax base, they donate to the Republicans, they use to harm us, harm Canadians. Remember, it is Trump's declared intent to damage the Canadian economy so he can take over Canada. So it seems to me that we need some changes in the labeling laws in this country, and we need them now. And in fact, we should have contemplated this a year ago. You know, okay, if we're going to say that we're going to buy it, if it's bottled in Canada or if it's going to be packaged in Canada, that, you know, whatever, we're going to stock it on our store shelves, disclose to us the source of the primary contents of it. Say where the company is based. Say, you know, this company is based in New Orleans, this company is based in Minnesota, this company is based in Idaho, whatever, company is based in New York. That way people can say, okay, well, look, this is an American company. I'm avoiding buying from American companies. I'm not going to choose this product. Or, you know, you can look it up and decide, is this a red state? Is this a blue state?
You know, it's hysterical, the MAGA response to Canadians boycotting American products and canceling their trips to the United States. Well, we're not going to buy Canadian products. Honey, that's going to be hard because you can't even identify Canada on a map, let alone Canadian-made products. So good luck with that.
Canada was never America's enemy. For generations, it has been one of a very good partner and a very good friend and ally to the USA. And the relationship between these two countries was built by trust, cooperation, and shared values. They have shared the longest peaceful borders for a very long time. Canadians and Americans have crossed freely across the borders, for decades. But when Trump imposed tariffs and trade wars, many Canadians felt betrayed, Trump has been making aggressive comments towards allies, threats of invading Greenland and annexing Canada. And to many Canadians, they saw this as dangerous and disrespectful. To many Canadians, sovereignty is not a joke. Their independence and national identity deeply matters. And people underestimate how much public emotion matters in international relations, because government may negotiate deals, but ordinary people, they decide where to spend their money and where to travel. And to many Canadians, they don't feel comfortable spending their money in the USA right now. And this is where tourism impact is becoming a serious issue right now, because Canadian tourists have been one of the most important tourists for the USA. Millions of Canadians, they travel every year for vacations, shopping, entertainment, sports, beaches, and even family visits. States like Florida, New York, Nevada, California, they rely heavily on Canadian tourism. Hotels depend on them, taxi drivers, airlines, casinos, amusement parks, and small businesses too. So when Canadian tourism drops, the damage spreads everywhere. And the tourism impact affect workers worrying about how to pay rent, hotel employees getting few hours, restaurant workers receiving smaller tips, and tour companies struggling to stay open. So the entire local economies, they suffer. And the issue of immigration have also contributed largely. Many Canadians are worried about aggressive border patrols and detentions, and if travelers feel that they could be mistreated, harassed, or even detained, they simply choose other destinations, And this should be deeply concerning to America, because once a country develops a reputation for hostility and unpredictability, it becomes hard to reverse that image. Tourism is built on comfort, safety, and trust. People travel to places where they feel welcomed, They spend money where they feel respected, and they return to countries where they feel valued. You cannot keep attacking your friends and expect the relationship to stay the same. Eventually, people will pull away and look for other partners and relationships. And once trust is broken, it is very hard to rebuild. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.